Welcome to Riverbend Talent on WBGZ. Brought to you by the Halpin Music Company.
Riverbend Talent on the Big Z. I'm Dennis, also known as a nice guy butt. That's what I'm going by now. A nice guy butt.
Hey, nice guy butt. Good to see you.
Yeah.
I'm Pik'n.
And you're a nice guy thigh.
Nice guy thigh. Oh, I'm nice guy thigh. Welcome to another edition of Riverbend Talent, where we're going to talk about all the talented folks in the Riverbend area. And it looks like gigs are starting to pick up for the bands a little bit, right?
Yeah, and it looks like you're not picking up real well on the microphone, but I'll fix that as we go. It's a Thursday night. Harder.
It's a Thursday night. Hey,
however, we are recording in advance, just so folks know when we get off here in a minute what's going on. Because you told us all of a sudden I'm not going to be here, so now we're recording a. What was this, the week before? We're actually
pre-recording the week before, but every week we're sponsored by Halpin Music Company and Mr. Matt Van Voorhis of Macias Insurance Company, and thank them so much for their years of sponsorship.
Yeah.
We've got a guest going to be on with us tonight.
We do, man.
It's a new
band that announced the change of their name on our show.
Yeah.
Because their band is very popular, and our show isn't, and they wanted to help us out.
They had formerly been called Deadman's Bridge. We've been talking about them for years. They play 70 gigs a year or more. Really out there in the scene, doing a lot for the scene. Now they're changing their name to Hot Shot Money Shot. Is that true?
Yeah. That's actually Money Shot.
It's just Money Shot. And Michael Kreider of the band, we're going to just go ahead and say he's our new sponsor, right?
Well, I don't see why not. He's interested, that's for sure.
So we're going to give him a shout.
Farmers Insurance, right?
Farmers Insurance down in East Alton. It's actually up in Bethalto next to the...
Even he bails on it. He deserves at least a plug. So.
He deserves a plug. Michael Kreider, Farmers Insurance. He is a member of the band formerly called Deadman's Bridge, now called Money Shot. And
does he realize if he sponsors us, we talk trash on him every week? Kind of. Not trash,
we didn't really tell him that because he would have said he didn't want to do it.
Does he realize he's going to have to take his guitar to visit people like Matt Van Voorhis has to now?
Only if Matt calls him and says, dude, you don't want to do this. Listen, it sounds fun. They make it sound like it's a good time, but really it's just a big pain in the...
He might call him.
I know. Right now, Matt's like, what's the guy's name? Mike Kreider? I'm going to call him.
Oh, man. So Thursday night, we know the Sea Shanty sing-along is going on tonight.
It's happening right now.
Cross the line at Fast Eddie's at 7 o'clock tonight. Karaoke at Hirams Bar, downtown Alton tonight. And... let's see, that does it, because I'm pretty sure these other two are just marked here for me to make sure that might be happening.
That is your Thursday night in the Riverbend area.
That is.
What do we, so
I'm sure there's more going on, and it'll be in the description of this video, but as we mentioned, we're recording in advance. So I know Georgia's Local Brew will have something going on tonight.
Yeah.
Don't have the name yet because we're recording a week in advance. They usually put it out the week before they have people there. So
if you're interested in finding out slightly more current, just go to cottonmouth.org on your web
or
browser.
The description in this video. I always put them there. So
there you go, the description in the video. If you're checking this on YouTube, if you're listening to it on 107.1, well, just keep listening. We're going to tell you about what's going on Friday night.
As far as what we know. But that's why it's important to know these places we're going to send you because, like I said, this is a week in advance. We're recording this, and so things are going to change as we've gotten to know over the last year, man. It looks like things are picking up, Big Ben.
Yeah.
I mean, but, it always matters when the guy on top decides to change the plan on people, right?
And well, right now the plan is...
The reason I bring that up is I seen Major League Baseball was all scheduled to start on time, and then today, which is a week prior to what you're hearing, right? The president was like, nah, I mean, you guys should wait a month because I'm going to get this new vaccine and blah, blah, blah. So, we're not out of the woods yet. That's what I'm saying. But just looking around town, restaurants are excited. They want to get back to work, and they're starting to open the gates.
Oh, yeah.
Because everything's going down at the present time, right?
Yep. So there we go. So and part of that is the fact that the truckers,
Right.
February 12th, Friday, February 12th, the truckers will be down at Fast Eddie's Bon Air at 7 p.m.
Here's one of the places I'm mentioning that, they mention now that they're accepting new bands. So if you're looking for a gig, you might want to get a hold of the Outlet at the Edisons complex in Edwardsville, which is a great place to gig, especially if you got a family.
Right.
You let the kids play while you do the gig, and,
Yeah.
I couldn't think of a better gig, really.
And there's all kinds of video games, and there's laser tag and bowling and,
Yeah.
lots of stuff for the family to do.
Great place to take some kids out where you want to see some live music, but,
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
And that was, I'm going to tell you, that was a conundrum when my kids were little. Me and my wife were constantly looking for a place we could go with kids that would also be entertaining to us and them, and maybe even, serve a little liquor or something. There you go.
But they had posted their schedule, so they're starting to get things going again. Kevin Babb going to be there on Friday night from 7 to 10 at the Outlet at Edisons in Edwardsville. And then, once again, there's some blanks there, Pigpen, this week because I haven't updated it yet because we're a week in advance. I can't time travel, or I would.
Why?
I'd be down for some time travel.
Well, the question is, why aren't you trying? Did you even try to time travel?
I have tried many things. Many things.
Many things.
This is a big weekend. Is Mardi Gras and Valentine's Day the same weekend?
I think
That's what I'm thinking. I don't keep up with stuff like that.
I think we're hitting that point where normally, Mardi Gras is right in March, actually. So, isn't it?
The reason I bring it up, because Saturday at Third Shoot, they're calling it the Shooty Gras and Valentine's
there
Party
we go.
with Dr. Shebega, 9 p.m. at Third Shoot in Alton. So that's happening Saturday night. The Bearded Bandits, 2 to 6, and the Truckers, 7 o'clock at Fast Eddie's Saturday night. Here's where I'd be. You're going to be out of town?
I am going to be out of town.
You're going to miss Rogers and Neenhouse at Baker's and Hale.
Good
Your
music
favorite
and good food right there. I do like me some Bakers and Hale, man.
That's
and
one
it's right
there.
around the corner from the house. That's
I know.
thing. Easy to get home, man. You got to love it.
And it's Rogers and Neenhouse.
Rogers and Neenhouse, man.
Practically the Birds, which you probably play on 94.3, which is WIL. I'm still confused, but...
Yeah, 94.3,
The
my
mix.
mix, WIL, HD3. It's a lot of stuff to say, but yeah, you're right. I play quite a bit of Birds. Hey, turn.
You should play some Rogers and Neenhouse and just say it's a Birds.
They wouldn't know
That
the
no one would
difference.
know.
They wouldn't know the
Write
difference.
that down.
No.
Write that down.
I'm taking a note right now. Play Rogers and Neenhouse.
Oh, our guest tonight, formerly Deadman's Bridge,
Yeah, and now known as Money Shot.
or Hot Shot Money Shot.
Hot Shot
if
Money
you're a big
Shot.
band.
Right now, poor Mike Kreider's going, I ain't sponsoring these guys. They won't even say our name right. Why would I sponsor you?
Well, anyways, they're going to talk about this gig. They're playing at the VFW in Kane on Saturday night as Hot Shots.
As Money Shot.
Money Shots.
Yeah, you can check out Money Shot on Facebook. But if you Google it, it's going to get weird. But they are playing the VFW in Kane, Illinois. That's the town just past Jerseyville there. And that's happening Saturday night. Good for Money Shot. They got a new drummer they're looking to show off. A new name and a new drummer.
Oh, we show him off.
We'll be talking to them coming up in, about another 10 minutes or so.
You know what a doppelganger is?
I do know what a doppelganger is.
What is a doppelganger?
A doppelganger is a band, and they're playing at Rover's Regal Beagle in Godfrey at 7 p.m. on Saturday, February 13th. Did I get it correct?
Well, unless you really want to know what I'm talking about, and I could kind of explain it. So it's someone that looks just like you. Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Possibly like from another time zone even. Like another time period.
Right. Look, there's me from the 1700s.
Right.
I was Shakespeare. A lot of people don't know.
You were Johnny Depp.
I was
1700.
Right. I probably was.
Yeah.
So, doppelgangers.
You were the pie-saw bird before.
Oh, wow.
At one time.
The pea-saw bird. Yeah, I could have been. A band called Doppelganger.
Yeah.
And we've heard that name a lot. They've been around for a few years, too.
Yeah, well, yeah.
We'll have to find out who that is. They are playing 7 p.m. at Roper's Regal Beagle in Godfrey. They're probably playing in that. There's that little outside area, the little. It's not inside, but it's not really outside. It's kind of in between, and they built a really nice little place for a band to tuck in there. So
I'm starting to see Roper starting to post more gigs. They must be listening to the show. Because any venue out there that hasn't figured it out yet, all you got to do is book a band, and we are going to give you a free plug.
We're going to talk about it. Yeah. The best way to get some free advertising: book a band.
And if you do it enough, like George's Local Brew, we'll bring that up and say, I haven't got who's playing there Saturday night, but someone's always playing there, and all you have to do is look at cottonmouth.org, because we're recording this a week in advance. Did I bring that up enough?
You're right. Like someone like George's Local Brew, we talk about them week after week because they have live music week after week. Fast Eddie's, they got 3 or 4 bands a day. George, we were just talking about his mustache last week.
Right.
We talk about his dirty martinis and his root. And the same thing with a lot of the places around here and a lot of the bands. If we see your name often, it makes it more fun to promote. Although we will start talking smack on you before we even meet you.
I'll tell you what I know about George's Local Brew.
What do you know?
Matt Van Voorhis, he's got his office up there in Jerseyville.
Yeah.
That's his lunch stop. He likes to go there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He took me there once.
Yeah, I have not had lunch at George's Local Brew, but that's because Matt doesn't like me ever since I didn't really get inappropriate. He said I got handsy. I don't know. He's a good-looking man. Whatever. Let's talk about the Graham Band, 2 p.m.
You know who's good-looking?
Who's that?
Is his dad.
George?
George.
Oh, yeah, George Van Voorhis.
George goes to George.
Yeah, George goes to George's. I'm very confused now.
I am, too. Hey, did I give a shout-out to Chris Paul?
No.
He's the guy that Matt introduced me to, because I haven't had a chance to tell the story, but we got a little extra time, so I'll get into it a little bit. So I go home New Year's Eve, and I notice there's a light out on my porch. I always leave the light out on so I can see my key, to put in. And I think, man, I blew a light bulb or something. So I check, won't come on. So at that point, I started getting suspicious. I went downstairs, tried the breaker, and it made a funny sound. And I said, power off, everything. I could tell by when I hit that breaker there was a problem. So I went upstairs, found the hot spot, and kudos to the Alton Fire Department showing up, putting on a giant light show for me New Year's Eve. I mean, they were spraying water around. We were throwing confetti in there. Okay, so it was blown in insulation, but
right,
I was picturing like confetti and everything else. I mean, it's New Year's Eve. I'd just come from doing the show. I was lit. Right?
Right?
No.
Right?
No, I'm just
and now it's
I'm trying to
dark,
make it
they
sound
put
like
bright lights on, there's water and insulation confetti.
So I got a full-blown studio in my house.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, the Alton Fire Department did me right. They came in and took a giant tarp and put over everything before they actually started fighting the fire. The bad part was, when they got finished, they pulled the tarp off and was cleaning it. No, they found a hot spot after they pulled the tarp out. So they had to get back, and they were using the small tanks to cool down the spot. It just smoldered. It didn't even get to my attic, my roof, which was really cool. But anyways, Chris Paul, hired, taking care of things. And by the time you're hearing this, I'm probably getting back into my house finally.
So, finally, yeah.
But I just wanted to kill a few minutes and thank all them people for helping out.
Absolutely. Shout out to all of them that helped out in that situation.
Yeah, Chris Paul, he's a beef farmer most of the time.
Wow.
But he does construction in the winter.
All right. Not a lot of beef farming to do in the winter.
He's also a machinist at Anheuser-Busch. And he only works weekends and holidays. Kind of an odd
That's where
gig.
the big money's at.
Yeah, well.
That's where the big money's at, man. I get triple time.
Yeah.
Every time I work, I'm triple time.
It's interesting. It's been cool getting to know Chris. So.
Yeah, awesome. I'm glad to hear he's doing a good job for you there.
Yeah,
I'm glad to hear Matt set you up with him, going above and beyond like always.
They've been dying for me to talk about it. And every week I'm like, we had something going on and couldn't get to it. So
Yeah, usually we get in here, we get to jacking around, and time flies. This time we had a few minutes. We were a little more laid back because we didn't have as many gigs to go through, and we went pretty long with our guests. So
Right.
Our guest tonight will be the band called Money Shot.
Now I need to get through the rest of this list.
Oh, yeah, we haven't even made it through Saturday.
Right. And I'm wondering about this one because Graham Pagano was on last week, and I was trying to get him to bring this gig up, and he didn't bring this gig up. He brought a different gig up. But according to his website last week, the Graham Band's playing at 2 o'clock at the Moose in Wood River on Saturday. Terry Beck, 3 to 7 at Grafton Winery. Steve Mellis and Company, and Marty Graston.
Marty Gras.
How do you say
Marty
it?
Graston. Yeah, Marty
Right.
Graston.
1 to
Marty
5.
Graston.
1 to 5 at the Hog Pit in Grafton.
There you go.
Dave Horton, 7 to 10 at Wild Pickens at Winery in Chesterfield. They've fired it back up there. Flip side, 8 o'clock at the Smokehouse in, I say Pyron. See, because that's
You're
pie,
right.
and sometimes I want a little pie.
I love a little pie.
And sometimes I want soup.
Sometimes I want pie. Right.
You know how it is. Anyways, the big gig is on Sunday. Sunday. Our good friend Jumpin' Johnny.
Oh, yeah.
You know what happens this time of year at Jumpin' Johnny's birthday, Valentine's Day celebration?
Usually that's a good time up at Tony's Ranch House where lots and lots of musicians show up to play. Always just a really good time there.
Yeah, a little list here of Jay Sable, Darian Rowe, Ken Christopher, Dizzy Lizzy Band, Everhart and Light, Riverbend Classics Band, that's Jumpin' Johnny,
Yep.
and The Intrusion. And that's taking place from 2 to 10 at Tony's Ranch House in Godfrey on Sunday, so stop in there. Say happy birthday to Jumpin' Johnny.
Absolutely. Happy birthday, my brother.
Right on. Anthony Nanny, 1 to 5, and the Step Brothers, 6 to 10 at Fast Eddie's on Sunday, Valentine's Day. Rockabilly Revival, 2 to 6 at the Grafton Winery. B&B Strings, 2 to 6 at Wild Pickens in Chesterfield. Little known fact, 5 p.m. at Patrick's in Granite City. You'll learn that little known fact by going to that show. And then our friends from the old Shop and Save, 1781. They're playing with special guests The Plums, Nico, and Dojo. $12, 7:30 at Red Flag in St. Louis. And then on Monday, Dave Horton doing the 6 p.m. slot at Prairie Inn in Dorsey. That should do it, Big Ben, right?
I thought they're also on that Red Flag show. I thought there was a band called Brave New World. Maybe they're not on that anymore.
Well, I just got it off the website, cottonmouth.org.
Yeah, cottonmouth.org.
So we're out of time, buddy.
Are we out of time? All right. Well, hey,
so.
Thanks, everybody. We'll be right back after this short break with our guest, Money Shot, formerly Deadman's Bridge.
Riverbend Talent, brought to you by the Halpin Music Company and by Mr. Matt Van Boris of Macias Insurance, Big Ben.
Good time to have some insurance in this cold weather, right?
Yeah, well,
All
I had a
kinds of
fire.
things go wrong.
in the house, so
Well,
that was a good time.
really good time for you to have insurance.
You know, I thought it was fireworks, but apparently it was fire trucks. So anyway.
But I mean, not to get too personal here, but Matt came out immediately, didn't he?
Yes.
And went up
the next day. Yeah.
Well, he was that happened really late at night on New Year's Eve. So he was out the next morning early and probably went above and beyond his duties.
He helped me shovel insulation out of the house.
That's an insurance guy. Right
it was
there.
blown in insulation too, and it's still everywhere.
You know, that's like I say. If you're going to get insurance, most guys aren't going to do that with
Found out worms will not eat that.
Don't put it in the garden.
It was smashed in my front yard for a while, and it's not disappearing quick. So apparently not biodegradable.
Well, big thanks to Matt Van Boris, not only for the stellar insurance, but for the helping hand.
Yes.
So call up Matt for your insurance. Call up Halpin Music for your musical needs. Now, we just talked last week about them real quick. Let's touch on this. They repair TVs and stereos. Electronics. Not
Full
just
service
instruments.
repair.
Full service. There you go. And giving music lessons and selling all the great equipment.
Yeah.
There you go.
And you can do them online or you can do them in person. So
big thanks to Halpin and Matt Van Boris for sponsoring the show and letting us come in here every week and jack around. Tonight,
so we booked this band called Dead Man's Bridge and found out they're not Dead Man's Bridge anymore.
Speaking of jacking around, these guys, I don't know what's going on with our guests. We did, but just like you said, we booked a band called Dead Man's Bridge. We've been talking about them for a couple of years years, playing constantly, and we thought, why don't we got to get them in? We say their name all the time. They show up, and I'm like, you guys are Dead Man's Bridge? They're like, no, we're Money Shot. I didn't talk to Money Shot.
Right.
So there we go. We've got Sean. Hey, Sean, how's it going?
Good.
And Mike.
How
you doing, Mike? Formerly of Dead Man's Bridge, but you've just recently changed the name of the band to Money Shot.
Yeah.
So we'll get to the reason for that. But first, let's talk about the important stuff. I don't know what's important. What do you guys holding on?
I didn't know there was important stuff.
Yeah, there's nothing important.
That's why I'm in the band. No important stuff.
You got 6 kids. There's got to be something important going on here.
No, there's always important. That's why there's the band, to get away from
You know, we'll talk about you, but first a little about me. He's over there going, it's always about you, man. Now, I taught my wife to thump out a little bass and got to playing with her, and I love it because one day she said, you don't just hide from me. You hide from everything out here. Yeah, life, work, bills, everything, man.
Get away.
So, it is the great escape. So, you guys...
And cheaper than therapy.
Yeah.
I don't know. I spent a lot on gear, man.
No, that is expensive.
But that feels right. So, you know.
Sure. It does.
Therapy that works.
Yeah.
Once you paid it off, I mean, you got entertainment for life.
Yeah.
Let's take care of it.
Yeah.
Endless entertainment.
Yeah.
Or if you have a fire, and then if you have Van Voorhis, he gets it replaced.
There you go.
So, Dead Man's Bridge, you guys played for like 5 years under that name, right? Mm-hmm. And like 70 shows a year.
At least, yeah. There was times we were turning them down because it's like, hey, we need personal time.
Right.
Sometimes.
You got 6 kids that you gotta,
For sure.
Got to go like remember their names or whatever.
Right, you got to go make sure dishes are done and all that stuff. Yeah,
what's the little one's name again?
Yeah, the little one hasn't taken a shower in like 3 days. Yeah. What's that stuff?
Have you been out making music? You're supposed to watch the kids.
Right.
I thought the big one was watching the little one. I don't know.
Yeah, I was going to say that's where we're at. The older ones are old enough to take care of the little ones. It works out.
There you go.
Well, 6 is easier than 1. Believe it or not.
Yes, yeah. When they first start walking, it's a little bit like, wait a minute, you can move now?
I just put you here. Where are you at? Yeah.
I heard after 4, it's just the hardest thing is just remembering the names.
Yeah, on 5 and 6, if they're in the house, it's a win.
Yeah. So,
you don't worry about them walking away anymore. Like, they'll be fine.
You worry less about each one, that's for sure.
Yeah, one more, and we can just say Monday through Sunday. Just give each one name.
You've already got a ball team with an extra player.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yep.
So how did the whole Dead Man's Bridge, how'd you guys come together? Just friends hanging out, decided to start making music?
Yeah, a little bit of friends hanging out. Me and actually
Let's go over the missing members. That way, whenever you start talking about them, people know what you're talking about. You're missing Nick.
Yep, Nick is, I guess, technically lead vocals
and rhythm guitar. You're missing Jim.
Yeah, he's also lead vocals and lead guitar.
And Mark.
And he's bass player.
And Sean plays the drums, and you were also guitar and vocals.
Yep.
3 guitars, 3 vocalists.
Yeah.
With a rhythm section sitting behind you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So there you go. So now, who'd you know first? How'd you guys get
Nick.
together?
Me and Nick were in a band together. And actually, Jim is my cousin. So we're in the family. But me, Jim, and Mark were in a band together. And me and Nick used to be in a band together. And I used to be next door neighbors with his dad. And I actually started jamming with the kid when he was a kid. I mean, I think he was like 11 the first time I jammed with him.
Wow.
It's like, you stick with the drums, you'll be great when you get older.
What age did you start playing that you're already jamming with people at 11?
2 years old.
2 years old. Pots and pans or actual drums?
Actual drums. My grandpa, he's the one that got me into it, actually.
You had one cool grandpa.
Yeah, he does everything. He does.
Who's your grandpa?
His name's Doug Gearing. He was in a band called Nasty Habits.
Yes, I used to. He used to live right up on. Seriously, my band practiced right down the street from Doug. I worked with Doug, and he wasn't just in. Was he? No, he wasn't in Passenger. Yeah, he was in just the Nasty Habits band.
Yeah.
They had the old green bus parked out behind the house on.
Gerson.
It's your town, buddy.
Yeah.
I come from Bethalto.
Yeah, it was right up there where Ed and Jan live, like North Street. North Street. That was way back in the day. So I know Doug Caring. Oh my gosh! As soon as you said your grandpa was that cool, I almost said, "I bet I partied with him." Now I know I have. Right. So that was back in the Granny's rocker days too.
There you go. He tells me stories about that. It's so awesome.
Yeah, and those guys are nasty habits. That's some nasty habits. That's what made them all right.
Yep.
That's a blast from the past, man. So that's pretty cool. So Doug Gehring gets you a drum set when you're 2.
Yep.
Just like what kind of drum set? Like
It was a little junior set.
A little junior set.
Yep.
Nice. Did he actually help you play?
Yeah, I set my drum set up right in front of his drum set, and I'd play right after him and just copy.
Wow.
And it's awesome.
Does he still play?
No, right now he's working on it, though. He's having a hip replacement surgery so he can get back up and play. But
Nice.
My graduation party, he got up and played drums, and I was up singing. I just wanted to do that, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
That's great, man. That's great.
Yeah.
So there you go. It's a small
It
world.
is.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I wouldn't want to paint it. But,
I was waiting for Joe Greenwell, but
and
you always hear that name.
Everybody's 7 steps from Joe Greenwell or Kevin
These
Bacon,
are
one of the two.
Kevin Bacon, yeah.
So there you go. So you were saying you jammed in a band with Nick. What was that band? Do you remember?
Yeah, we had 2 of them. Play with Fire was one of them. It only lasted about a year, and then we changed it to too many bands, too many years.
I can't even remember.
That's a great name.
But too many bands, too many years. That is a
That's not
good name.
that one, right?
About what age do you remember hooking up with him and playing?
It was
High
probably
school?
mid-20s.
Mid-20s, there you
Yeah,
go.
and Nick's a couple years younger than me, so...
And then you played in a band with Jim and Mark. What was that? Do you remember that one?
Blackwater Revival.
Okay.
I remember
Yeah.
hearing that. I remember hearing that
Yeah.
name. You guys sang some Doobie Brothers or what?
No, should have. It'd been cool. No, we had a really great lead singer, also named Sean, and he was a power horse for country music. I mean, just a great singer. So we stuck with country because he was just that good.
Your front man did it well,
Right,
yeah.
right.
Yeah. So at some point you start jamming and said, "Hey, let's call Nick over and change it up."
I ended up leaving Blackwater, and that's when I started Deadman's with Nick. Actually, yeah.
I started.
So they
you
were
started
still
with
Blackwater
Nick?
while we started this. So I had some other guys. Blackwater split up all together. Brought Mark and Jim from them, put them in the band, and here we are.
So it started as a side project from a band, and then when that band dissipated,
Basically.
you took the rest of the band with you.
Pretty much, yeah.
There you go. Okay. And how'd you get Sean in the mix here? Doug Gehring was. You live next door to Doug's. That was it. No.
He posted videos of him playing along with songs like his version of covers, and he nails them, and he's a great drummer, and just had to call him like, hey. Like, what are you up to? And he actually came out to a show and sat in with us and jammed a couple songs. So like, yeah, let's call him, see if he wants to come practice and jam. And it didn't take but a couple songs. Like, yeah, you're a very good drummer.
I walked in. We just to let the people in radio land know, we do a bit of a pre-interview where we talk for a few minutes before we get started. And I was running around a bit, and I walked in, and you were telling a story about to Dennis here about a guitar player, just a random guy filling in with you. I didn't get to hear the beginning of that story, so tell that story.
We were playing a show, I believe, out in Belleville, which we're not from the Belleville area, so we don't know anyone out there really. I think it was a band called Hicktown I was playing in, I believe.
Yeah.
Might have been Blackwater, I'm not sure. Either way, we were playing, and one of the set breaks, and went out to my car and realized I'd locked my keys in the car. I was like, oh, man. Wasn't worried about it. Went back in, go up, play another set, get on set break, and lead guitar player, or the singer's wife's like, hey, I called the cops for you so they can come and get your keys out of your car. It's like, okay, cool, great, thanks. Cops came. They didn't want to get my keys out of the car. Apparently, I didn't pay a fine a few years ahead or back. It was a $200 fine. Didn't know about it, so they took me to jail in the middle of our show. Had one set left to play, and the owner of the bar came to the jail and bailed me out. Came back, and they had finished the show, and a random person in the crowd saw me get arrested and walked up and said, hey, I know how to play guitar, let me look at your set list. And they played they didn't replay any of the first songs.
Nice.
He just played that next set, and I think he ended up playing a couple shows with them after I had left.
Nice.
It just happened to work out.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't go to jail for a cool reason, but
Owing them money, that's usually the reason they take it.
Actually, that was my first time going to jail, and the cops made fun of me. Like, this is your first time being here? Like, for this? Like, yeah, I know. Rock and roll, I know, thank you.
You were a crazy one, like
Right.
Keith Richards got nothing on you, man.
How did they keep you underpaid?
So let's talk about some of the early years. Now we talked about with Sean here how his grandpa Doug Gary, the great Doug Gary of Nasty Habits, taught you to play when you were a baby before you could speak. You were
Right.
banging on drums already. What about you, Mike? How early did you get started?
I think 12, 13, and it was 8 hours a day, every day. I lived in Morrow. I don't know if you know where Morrow is.
Yeah,
It's
not a
good
lot to do
place
there.
to practice.
Nothing. I mean, we didn't have cows or nothing to push over. I mean, there was nothing. So it was as soon as I could get home from school and play guitar until my mom made me go to bed.
Yeah.
I mean, that was it. And it was, actually, I know for a fact the very first song was American Woman by Guess Who. And
Yeah.
the first day I got my electric guitar, because I had an acoustic guitar, and the action on it was like 5 inches off the guitar.
Right.
So you had to
Put a pack of cigarettes between
yeah,
the
you just could
strings.
not play it, So my mom got me a guitar for electric for Christmas, and I mean Christmas Day, I knew American Woman note for note. I sat and
Nice.
learned it. I mean, it took hours because I
Yeah.
couldn't solo on an acoustic. I couldn't even attempt to on that acoustic. I just play chords. Man, that was it for me.
And that made your fingers bleed, just did
Oh yeah, it was horrible. It was horrible. I still loved it.
Yeah.
A really good instrument will not play itself, but man, are they easier to play when you're not strangling on that fretboard trying to make it sing to you.
Right. Yep.
So there you go. Now, did his grandpa Doug Gehring teach you? Did he set you down?
No.
That would have been awesome if he taught you how to play guitar.
Self-taught, man. Just boredom.
Self-taught
By ear.
So back then that was pre-internet. Did it straight by ear, or did you
Yeah.
sit and wait for guitar magazines every month to learn? New
I mean, I
stuff?
would do good guitar magazines just because as starting out, it is really hard by ear if you don't know anything. So, guitar magazines, I think I had a couple lessons at Halpin Music.
Nice.
Got me started. It wasn't, I mean, I probably played for about 6 months before I took lessons. And at that point, it was like, I just need a few pointers here and there, and I'll be on my way. And that's about all I took.
Right.
What made you want to play guitar?
I don't know. I just always wanted to.
Yeah.
I can remember being a little kid pretending to guitar solo.
Yeah.
I just like
Playing the broom.
Yeah, or air guitar.
Yeah.
I can remember my dad always used to take us up the river road, and he listened to Creedence Clearwater Revival and the Guess Who. So that was.
I love the Guess
I didn't
Who.
really know music existed out of those two bands till I was about 12. Maybe some oldies that my mom would listen to, but otherwise it was those two guys, and I loved them.
Look, here's the American music at CCR, and here's the
Right.
Canadian music at Guess Who. You don't need
That's
anything
it.
else.
Right. Don't go outside this box now.
So, early influences, like you said, Guess Who and CCR, were like your dad sort of embedded those into you. But when you started going out on your own, who did you follow after?
I would
Early
say
on.
Metallica was a big hit for me as a youngster. They had cool riffs that weren't out of my range. I could figure them out, and the solos had a melody to it. When you start playing solos and it's just a lot of, it's really hard to. If you can hum a solo, it's really easy to learn said solo because the ear thing comes into play. Mm-hmm. So that's where I went with somebody that had melody, just like Guess Who did, and those type of guitar players. And then I think once I found Guns N' Roses, that was where I was Slash. That was my main thing there. Yeah. Then it was everything I could, wanted to give some Les Paul and wanted to do the Slash thing. I wanted a top hat.
Yeah.
Even though I think when I started playing guitar, I was the same weight I am now, but like a foot shorter or a foot and a half shorter, but I still wanted to be Slash even as a little roly-poly kid,
Did you grow your hair out long?
No, I wasn't
No.
that dedicated.
That
was
he had some hair.
Yeah, he had some hair. Right. He had some hair.
Yeah.
What a great guitar player, though. And talk about melody. I mean, he nails it,
right.
so yeah.
Right. That's I don't know. A lot of people are good. A lot of people can play fast, but it's making melodies that stick with it. That's what always draws me to them.
Not cluttering.
Something that your head is twisting over and over again. Yeah. How about you, Sean? We know that your grandpa got you started playing. What was the first music to really catch your ear? What style and what bands?
My first concert was Sammy Hagar. And I was a little kid, I couldn't walk. I was on my grandpa's shoulders. And the next concert after that was Motley Crue.
It's good.
And Titty Cam came out. And that was with Tommy Lee.
Yeah,
you know, he's wild.
Some serious drum solos. Did he flip his set over or anything like that?
No. I was still pretty young. I just remember little stuff from the concert. But I'd say Sammy Hagar, Motley Crue, and Styx, and Foreigner. Those influences. Styx drummer, the new one, Todd Zuckerman. He's like definitely my idol. That's the guy that I look up to when I'm drumming. Watch a lot of videos on him just to try to figure out some stuff. But
right on. So there you go, man. That's pretty sweet to grow up embedded in music like that from the get go.
I'm blessed for that.
What kind of stuff did your grandpa try to push at you when you were younger?
Exactly that stuff.
Exactly that.
Yep,
and you just stuck to it.
Yeah.
You never thought, you know what, Grandpa, you're lame.
Yep, never. Always loved it.
See, my dad pushed like Johnny Cash and Willie Nelson, stuff like that was playing in his truck, and I totally rebelled against it. Like, punk rock swears there, you know, and it was all three chords and the truth.
Yeah.
But then it didn't take long for me to go, wow, Johnny Cash is badass.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the man, right? So that's cool though to have somebody pushing you in that direction, in a good direction. So,
in a good direction, yes.
So now let's jump forward to what's going on now. You've changed your name after 5 years of being Deadman's Bridge. You've changed your name. No member changes. Right?
We did change the drummer. He's actually new.
You're a new drummer.
Yeah, his first show will be our first show.
Okay, there you go. So, but only one member changed, the drummer, but changed the name. Yeah. It's formerly Deadman's Bridge is now called Money Shot.
Yes, sir.
And what brought on this change?
Deadman's Bridge always felt like heavy metal, or at least people would be misled by it. They would assume when you say, "Well, what are you about to play?" And we say, "Well, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, maybe some 90s and some country." And they go, "Oh, thank goodness." So you just constantly kept getting that. People would, like Salto Homecoming, they'd called us and they said, "So what do you play? Because we've heard about you and people keep recommending you, but we can't have heavy metal here for our..."
That stigma's still around in 2020.
Right.
40 years later.
That's why I played heavy metal.
It's
just
still
for
around.
that reason.
It's crazy.
So that the heavy metal is 40 years old now. I mean, it's not. It's classic rock now, isn't it?
Yeah.
It hasn't graduated at that point yet?
So which is funny because you said you got into Metallica there, know, as a young guy. So, but the name is keeping you back from gigs, basically.
Well, like I said, we were writing songs, so we needed something nobody else had used that didn't really mean anything in case we wanted to write songs and actually put the music out. So we picked Deadman's Bridge. Well, then we hit more of the classic country and the covers, and it no longer made sense. So,
So I always
Deadman's
thought
Bridge could still write some music.
I always thought folk rock, like Suicide or something, when I seen the name Deadman's Bridge,
Sure.
What's the old song I'm thinking about? Where is it Bobby McGee jumps off the bridge? No, that's not it.
No.
Which one
Bobby
is it?
Joe jumped off the Tallahassee Bridge.
The Tallahassee Bridge. That's the
Bobby
one I'm
Joe
trying-
McLean or something like that.
Right.
Yeah, now that's I could see where that would happen with the name, kind of pigeonholing you, or people think that. So now the name Deadman's Bridge you thought was a little misleading, so you went with Money Shot. You don't think that's misleading? People are going to come in expecting a money shot. You going to give them one?
I mean, I'm sure the kid will. I mean, he'll. He hasn't developed standards yet. He's 19.
That's great. So how did the new name come about? What?
After hundreds and hundreds of other options and everybody disagreeing and finally getting to the point where it's like, I'm okay with that. It wasn't like, oh, that's great, that's got to be our name. It's just like, yeah, I'm fine with that one. Are you okay with it? Yes. Are you? Cool.
One everybody can live with.
Right.
Yeah.
It's the worst part of starting a band for me. I hate picking the band name.
Yeah.
Because a rose by the name smells as sweet. It doesn't matter, but it does. I mean, it does lead people in a certain direction. They feel a certain way. What kind of logo are you going to use with it? I mean, what kind of marketing can you do?
And all the kids out there wanting to start bands, if you're thinking of a name, first thing you need to do when you come up with one is Google it. See how many other bands are already named that, because if you got 10 other bands named that, you're hard to find.
Yeah, exactly.
So everybody Google the name first. We just ran across that with a band that we were trying to get on the show called A Brave New World, and they look like a fine band, but there's 20 other bands named that.
Right.
So to sift through and find them makes it tough.
Right.
So Money Shot, did you Google that before you?
There's others out there, but they're nowhere close.
What came up when you Googled Money Shot image?
Yeah, not good. Well, for the record, I was like, yeah, Money Shot doesn't mean anything. It's fine.
Yeah,
I
looked about it.
I looked on Facebook. I didn't really think about it. Not true. I think that everybody but me and you were like, Money Shot. You know? Well, I didn't. I don't know. So I guess I wasn't down with that kind of lingo. And then I Googled it after searching for Facebook. That's, where's people going to search us on social media? What's going to pop up? Saw some other bands that are not too big a deal. They're nowhere close. They're not real overly popular. Let's go for it. And then I Googled it after we agreed. Like, oh, that's why you guys want to go with. Okay. They're like, you didn't know that? Like, no, I guess I didn't.
The first strip club I worked at was called the Money Slot.
There you go.
That's not true. None of that's true.
Deadman, I'd just go with it.
It was the Peppermint Rhino, but anyway. So now you guys are going. You got your first gig coming up with the name Money Shot.
Yes, sir.
First gigs are always fun and exciting. What was your you remember your very first gig in a band?
Oh, yeah.
Period. What was that? Tell us about the band and the gig.
Very first show was a band called Chug.
Good name.
We did, and we were a party band, and we were a hit. We were popular. But very first show, I was up standing on speakers. I was out dancing in songs. I was all over the place. And everybody's like, "You're a show off." Like, no, I'm just having fun. Like, I'm not trying to, I'm not overplaying my songs or nothing. It's just the coolest thing I've ever done. I think I was 24. That was my first paying gig. My first actual gig, I guess. Does filling in with people count as gigs?
Sure, man. If it's a good story, it does.
Sure. They weren't great stories. Filled in with other people, but first paying gig, I was 24.
And you went a little spastic.
And I had the time of my life.
Yeah.
There was pictures. I remember because I had a lot of family come, and a lot of people in their 60s and 70s were sitting down in chairs, looked like they were just kind of out to hang out. In the background, you can see me on a speaker playing guitar.
Yeah.
My mom probably.
Oh, God.
And after that, you were hooked, right? You caught the bug.
Yep.
Yeah.
Then was how many times a week can we get back into these type places? Right.
How often? How soon can I make this happen again?
Right.
Yeah.
Where was that gig at?
It was at Holiday Shores.
Okay.
It's Wigglers?
It's called Wigglers now, but
Gemini's.
That's next door.
Oh, yeah.
It's called. They're gonna kill me.
Gilligan's.
No.
Gilligan's. I lived in Holiday Shores for a while. I should know this stuff.
That's where I grew up. It wasn't. Yeah. It was after Cheers. It was after Lakeside, and then it was Leroy's Tavern, maybe, or Ruby's, or something like that. It was
It's changed quite a bit. Yeah. What gate did you live in?
Main gate.
Main gate.
Yep.
I was way out in Gate G, far side.
Oh, is that over off Fountain Blue?
Yep, right off Fountain Blue, man.
Yep.
I did enjoy waking up with that sunrise coming up over that lake.
Yes, sir.
Very nice.
Yep.
So you still live out there?
No, we live in Wood River now.
Yeah. Yep. So now you wake up to the sun coming over the Wood River, which wood in a river is a really funny thing to see. It's just lumber going down
we love it, actually. I mean, we love it.
No, that's great. What about you? First gig? Is that coming up? Here?
No,
No, he's peeping out.
Yeah, I'd say my first gig was with a band called Atomic Heart, and they were out of, it was next to St. Peters, Missouri, somewhere over there, but they came over here, and I'd go over there for rehearsals back and forth, and it kind of just got to the point I was ready to go on, and I'm not, they were really good musicians and everything, but I was ready to move on to better musicians, basically, is how it is. And I understand.
You'll find one day.
Yeah. No, these guys are really good musicians. It's a big difference whenever you're playing with them. You can tell the sound of it. It's just more full, the energy,
Well, and there's a difference between playing with guys who are just trying to make the song happen and guys who know the song and they're just playing it.
Yeah.
And it's sort of a different feeling when you're working as a unit or you're just keeping this train on the tracks, man.
Exactly.
It's all fun either way.
Yeah.
And I tell everybody when I jam with anyone and they say, "Oh, man, am I playing that right?" I don't know. Did you have a good time?
Yeah.
As long as you had a good time, you're doing it right, man. Hey, what's like? You got any like crazy things that have happened to you at gigs where you're like, oh my gosh,
Nothing yet. Not
you're
yet.
still young though.
Yeah, I'm only 19.
Wait for it.
Yeah, wait for it.
It comes. So, how about you? You got any like any stories you can divulge? I know we were talking about strip clubs that happened in like double wide trailers earlier. Did you actually play at that?
No, I didn't play there. I totally would have played there.
Where was that, in Litchfield?
North of Litchfield.
North
There's like
Litchfield.
a double wide trailer, and bring your own chair and bring your own beer.
and they supplied the girls, though.
Supplied the girls.
Wow. Was there an actual pole, or did they just kind of dance?
A couple. I think they had 2 poles.
Wow,
Two of them, yeah.
That's a double wide, a pole for each side.
Yeah. They weren't the top notch, but they took the clothes off.
That story come
like
up because you guys are going to be playing Kane, right, at the VFW, right?
Yeah, Kane VFW. Yep, on the 13th. Yeah, to be the first show. So. Sure, with the kid telling everybody he's ever met that we're playing that we have a good show.
And Kane, for those who are like, where's Kane?
Yeah.
It is just past Jerseyville. Don't blink. You'll miss the turn off to Kane.
Small town, but they party. It's a nice little place.
Oh, yeah.
I have been to some of the crazier parties in that area in Kane. The Iron Horse Motorcycle Club was the name of the place we used to play up there. And his band played up there with us.
I played in some trailer.
Yeah, that
with
was
you
it.
guys, where there was some dead chickens or something.
There was,
right?
yeah.
Or you killed some chickens. I don't know exactly what happened there.
Usually the guy who owned the trailer that was also his name was Richard Shaw. He owned a double wide trailer that was a motorcycle club, a tattoo shop, and his home. And he would have us come up and play, and usually there was a hog roast. The hog didn't come through, so he sat on his porch and shot 115 squirrels and fried them up. I think there was also a bunch of Rocky Mountain oysters on a table, and at least part of my band and part of your band got in a fight throwing them at each other like snowballs instead. Yeah. It was a
Good
crazy.
times.
Yeah.
Good times.
I'm just saying, if you're thinking Kane, that sounds lame. No, not. It depends on who you are.
Right.
I could have a good time anywhere.
Yes, sir.
Has the VFW been doing shows there? It seems like that's something they just started doing, or I'm just starting catching wind of it.
We've played there a couple times, but not many.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're having. I'm sure they're having other guys besides us.
Yeah,
I'm sure they are.
I've just recently started seeing that pop up, but you know how social media is. Maybe I just been missing out on it, or it hasn't been promoted, or whatever. So, but you guys got some gigs coming up beyond that there. I thought I seen down the road back at Kane VFW.
Yeah, we've got some more in Kane. We've got some. I mean, we're all over.
Right.
If we go out in Bond County, one of our favorite bars is Thirst Place out in Greenville. So, I mean, that's a trip for us, but it's a fun time. They love us out there. We love them. So we go home. We're all over the place.
Yeah. I've seen you guys out quite a bit. Deadman's Bridge, just about everywhere. At Doc Holidays and Cottage Hills.
Yep.
Where else have we seen them? Can you think of like maybe the Pump House?
Well, yeah. What's your favorite places to play around the area? I know you said the Greenville one. That's kind of far
Thirst
out.
Place, yeah, we love that one. I've played at Pump House quite a bit. We love Pump House.
Have you played at the Deutz Village Inn yet?
We play there all the time.
Yeah.
Good time
That's one of our favorites too.
Yeah, a lot of people say that's a great place to
great
play.
place, great owners. You become part of the family there.
Yeah.
I've been playing there for 7-8 years now, and I mean, there's a couple different bands, so it's a great place.
A lot of bands say that the people really listen there.
Yeah,
they're
interactive, they dance, they're great.
Yeah.
You're not just background music to their drinking.
No, never.
Which is, that's good. That's a place like that.
That's what bands love.
Yeah, exactly. Get them interactive. It's fun.
And for you guys, for the type of band that you have, we haven't even discussed that really. What type of music you play? You guys kind of, I mean, you cover the gamut. You said from the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, a little country, a little heavier rock. Basically, you just have a huge repertoire and try and read the crowd.
Pretty much. Yeah. And if they're younger, we'll play a little newer and heavier and rockier stuff. If we're out in the country bars, we'll try to play more country songs because they go over, and we try to read the crowd. We try to keep them dancing. I guarantee you're going to know most of our songs. There isn't, track B songs in our set list. Or
no deep cuts.
Right. They're all the heavy hitters. You've probably heard every band do. A lot of them are probably overplayed, but they still go over, so we hit them.
If they get the people up dancing and smiling.
Right. Exactly.
That's what part of what a song's supposed to do. Unless it's a blues song, it's supposed to make you cry.
Right. Yeah, exactly. We try to do that too. some songs are meant for dancing, and some are just more rocking and sit back and watch us jam. We try to throw them type songs in there, Flirting with Disaster and Sweet Child of Mine and some more.
Now you said in the beginning you did some original stuff. Mm-hmm. You're talking about circling the wagons back to that.
Yeah, I'd like to. Yeah, new band name, new energy. Go back over it, and the more you listen to songs that make it on the radio, you're more like, man, I've got to be able to do that or better.
Right.
Yeah.
Britney Spears could do it. I could do it.
Right. So writing music's fun.
It is.
It's different. You can cover people's music really well and be great at that, but to put your own feelings on the table and let people see who you are is another experience.
It is.
I like that. We can show you who we are. If we play enough covers, you can get an idea of it, or we can play a couple originals and you know exactly who we are. Yeah.
Kind of, with that, you got to kind of put it out there, man. Wear your heart on your sleeve, and like we were saying with the punk rock, tell the truth. Yeah. Your words and the truth is all it really takes to make a song.
You got it, buddy. You got it.
So, new blood, new name, and looking back at maybe going back to where you started with the covers, or the originals, I mean, but no idea of losing the covers. And the gigs you're playing there, just circling back to add the originals to what you're already doing. Okay, so just checking.
The plan is, play the cover stuff so everybody knows the music and get some dancing and gets the energy up, and then slide one of your originals in there and hope it's the same type of a groove and feeling that what you've already been playing, and they just start to say, hey, what was that one song that you...
Hope only half of them leave the dance floor.
Sure, exactly. Yeah. Hopefully you can just keep on going with it. They won't even realize it, but yet they will start to wonder hopefully, that they will like the songs that you were playing and want to hear them and realize that it was yours.
And a wise man once told us, named Pat Liston, that if a bar owner says, what was that one song you played that was that original, you just throw it off on some other band like Three Dog Night or something.
There you go.
What was the third song in that last set? Oh, that was Three Dog Night. Yeah. Okay.
That's a John Lennon original.
Exactly.
You didn't know that?
You didn't, dude. That was on the early Beatles demos, man.
Come on. I don't know if I can play here if you don't know this type of stuff. I can't.
I don't think I can work with you.
I can't. We agreed we're not going to play Freebird, but you got to know these type of things. You got to know.
I've been in clubs with signs that say, no Freebird, no Stairway to Heaven, or no originals.
I personally found Man in the Box to be the new Freebird.
Yeah,
we always had that song. We always had that song requested.
That's actually on our set.
Yeah.
We're deciding whether we want to take it off.
See, it's starting to be that song, isn't it?
That song. Yep.
You have to switch over to Damn That River.
Yeah. There you go. Right. So many other songs.
There is.
There you go. So talking to Sean and Mike of formerly of Dead Man's Bridge, now of Money Shot. I almost said of Dead Man's Bridge. So you guys came in under false pretenses.
I know.
You were perpetrating a fraud.
It's a trickery.
I think they decided, hey, let's announce this big change on that awesome radio show called Riverbend Town.
There's never going to be a better time to change our name.
Right. This is it. Now or never, fellas.
There's going to be dozens of people listening to this station.
Right?
Yeah. No, we appreciate that. Thanks. Thanks for saving the money shot for us.
Yeah. Well, hopefully hopefully we got a little bit of energy about us right now, and hopefully we can bring some awareness to this show. I think it's a great thing you guys are doing. Getting bands out there, it's awesome.
I'm going to take a guess here that the reason you got the kid in the band here, Mr. 19-year-old Sean, is to suck off his energy. You'll ride him at coattails and be like, dude, you got a lot of energy. You're going to make us all look like we're in jet.
He's got the drive. Yeah.
Right. So you guys got that gig coming up February 13th at the Kane in VFW, and then you said you have some other shows in Kane coming up. Anything else on the books at the moment?
We've got a bunch. We've got
that one in March. That's supposed to be a nice one.
Yeah, March. What day is that?
26th.
March 26th. We're doing Ride for a Reason benefit down in Steelville, Missouri. We're opening for Beowulf.
Nice.
And then they also have two more bands playing on a Saturday night too. So I'm sure we'll end up getting a place and staying down the weekend and hanging out. And
It's going back to that Granny's Rocker thing, man. Beowulf hired them because that's Gary's grandson.
Gary won't quit calling. Just tell him they can open up for this. That's his kid.
One of my very first real gigs, like in a club and not in someone's basement at a birthday party or something, was at opening for Beowulf at Granny's Rocker.
No kidding.
That's awesome.
And it was like, oh, we shouldn't be here. We are horrible. What are we doing here?
Yeah. Yeah, they were cool about that, though, letting bands come up and open for them. So that was
awesome.
huge.
Yeah.
And, you know, look, still today, I mean, they're going and helping people, and they've been amazing. We've been trying to get them on.
They're tough to get. They're busy. The Rollins boys stay busy to this day, man. So not just Henry Rollins. All the Rollins are staying.
Not even just Henry, but
well, they probably remember us too, Pigpen.
Well, that's why I changed my name to Pigpen. Think I could lose all those people that hated me on the last name.
Yeah.
I thought I could lose that and be like, hey, I'm a different guy. Now give me another shot. I promise I won't do what I did last time. No, I don't even know. Well, hey guys, thanks for coming down. People want to find you. They can find you on Facebook.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Any other? They got YouTube videos up anywhere?
Not yet. First show's coming.
That's right. You got a new. Yeah, but Deadman's Bridge. If people want to see that, anything.
We've got some videos up. Yeah. Not
I forget you're a brand new band as of right now.
I say we switched the drummer around, so
the last drummer. So it's going to be like watching you guys, but with a lame drummer.
No, just not the same
without
drummer.
Sean.
Right, just without Sean. The other drummer's still a good buddy. He's taking a break and might do something else in here down the road. So just different drummer.
Right on. So anything other than gigs? Any big news coming up with you guys? He's 19. He's about to get married. I hear. You're dancing at a new club. I heard, to make some money.
Yeah. I get to keep my clothes on though, so it's kind of a boring gig. But,
you're probably not making much money either.
Well, I found once you take your clothes off, you make a lot of money to put them back on.
Yeah.
I give you $20. You put your shirt on. I'm trying to eat my hamburger. The McDonald's manager, they didn't like it anyway. So.
Right. You can dance on Tuesdays. Right. When you were talking about the double wide, and you're like, it wasn't the best lineup. I'm like, sounds like a Tuesday over at most clubs. Sure. I used to go over to the strip clubs on Tuesdays for the buffet, not for the dance.
See, people always said that. Like buffets.
Seafood buffet, now. Is there anybody here without a cesarean scar? No.
Anyone? Just one.
Right.
Yeah.
So there we go. The new name of Deadman's Bridge. We're going to quit saying that. The new band is called Money Shot, and they are going to be appearing at the Kane VFW February 13th. You'll be hearing more about them. You can check them out by just checking out Money Shot on Facebook.
Yes, sir.
Don't just put that into Google. Other things will come up. Put it into Google Images. Scrub your browser when you're done.
Yes, sir.
I'm just telling you.
Yes, sir.
Anything you guys want to say? Anything else you got?
Not really, buddy. We're just here ready to rock.
Ready to go out in the parking lot and do the after show?
Yes, sir.
Right on.
How about you, Dennis? You got anything else you want to ask these guys?
I just appreciate how you guys do your social media and kept us up to date. We're Deadman's Bridge. Matter of fact, it's still up to date. We were talking about Deadman Bridge gigs that are now Money Shot gigs, but they're up to date, right on the Deadman's Bridge page as well on Facebook. So I'm sure that's going to phase out, and my link will disappear, and I'll have to find the new one because I know you guys keep that up, and we appreciate that. It's good to see from bands.
Well, and Dennis appreciates it, especially because he puts together our list of gigs that we read every week on the air. That right now it's only 3 pages long. We were doing like 7-8 pages before March hit.
It's February and COVID and blah, blah, blah.
He not only lists every gig basically from Belleville to Grafton. You keep the links up on the bands, you keep the links up on the venues, and it's all posted at cottonmouth.org website. So when you're out rolling around town on the weekend and you're thinking, man, those jackasses on the radio said like 30 gigs, but I don't remember any of them because they said it so fast. All you have to do is get on your smart device there, your phone in your pocket. Go to cottonmouth.org, and the first thing that will pop up is the list of all the gigs basically in order heading down from the current day to... You've got them out through middle of summer now.
Yeah, and if you keep scrolling down, you'll find a link for Deadman's Bridge right at the bottom of them. I keep a list of all the bands at the very towards the bottom that always update their stuff and are always playing.
Right.
So when I'm going through the gigs, all I got to do is hit those bands. I know I'm going to find a few more every time I hit those. So.
And there are certain bands like Deadman's
Right.
Bridge that are
It's like the Hall of Fame on Cottonmouth.org for guys that promote themselves. Yeah.
Flip side, Flip the Frog. There's
Flip the
certain
Frog,
bands that are
Flip
just out
Side.
there all the time. Graham,
Lanny and
Pagano,
Julie,
whoever the hell
Scott and
that is.
Michelle. You know.
Sure.
Yeah, there's certain bands that really they play a lot and they do a great job of keeping their social media updated, which helps everybody not only know where you're playing, helps Dennis put together his list, helps everybody. So big kudos to you guys.
Yeah, we always tell people, like the page, you can see where we're at, know where not to be, where not to be. I almost accidentally saw you guys last weekend.
Yeah.
Thank God I clicked on your link. I was just going to go in and have a few drinks. I'm like, oh, no.
Show up for a couple drinks, and then I got to talk to you, and you try to get me to buy a band shirt and all this.
All I wanted was a drink or two, and I spent $30.
Right.
I've heard other people use that list for is they'll go in a bar and not be sure who the band is, and they're playing a set or something, so they'll look it up on our site. Oh, this must be those guys,
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
Another thing a lot of bands use it for, figuring out where to book more gigs.
Yeah.
Because there might be venues listed on there that you
There
don't
is
go
a
to.
ton
yet,
of
so there you
venues.
go.
That'd be a good idea.
Trying to help everybody all the
Yeah.
way around. There you go.
Yeah.
True.
And we couldn't do it without our sponsors, Halpin Music Company and Mr. Matt Van Voors of Macias Insurance, who pay to put this program on and motivate us to keep that list going and everything else we've been talking about.
Absolutely. So big thanks to everybody out at Halpin and Mr. Matt Van Voorhis. Also big thanks to Mike and Sean, our guests. Nick, Jim, and Mark were just they had important stuff to do. They were like, oh, we can't be on the radio.
They're working on a new band name.
They're in a pilot.
That's what they were dodging. They didn't want to be here for
Money
that.
Shot's almost played out already, Yeah. It's getting old.
It's like, that's so yesterday. That is so Tuesday afternoon. Now, actually, I heard that they were like, okay, you guys go do that little radio thing, but we're going to this podcast.
Yeah, they're still waiting for us to show up at band practice. They don't even know we're here. Like, if we tell them about it, they'll show up.
Yeah.
They'll want to talk.
Yeah.
There's a reason why we don't give everybody a microphone, because they'll use it. They'll say stuff to everybody.
All right. Well, the pressure's on you, Sean. You're the new drummer.
I'm
And
ready.
so what we expect to hear when we hear about hot shots now is, have you checked that drummer out, man?
Money shot.
He's a hot shot of money
he's
shot.
a hot shot of money shots.
That's funny.
Hot shots is like a cheap Hooters, isn't it?
Well, maybe I was thinking about Hooters for a minute. I'm not saying I wasn't.
Always thinking about Hooters. The bar, man. The wings are
My
spicy.
point is, I better be hearing about the drummer for Money Shot.
Oh, yeah.
Because,
And not like, did you see how bad that guy was? He could go back to Deadman's Bridge.
Right?
No, it'll be fun. I'm ready to do this.
I'm going to email his grandpa right now.
Big disappointment, Doug. Not what I expected.
Gramps, if you're listening, he probably don't even remember me because he wouldn't know who the hell Pik'n was. But if I saw you, Mr. Doug Gehring.
And I can tell Sean's not feeling any pressure over there. He's nice and loose like a drummer should be, and he's ready to go. So,
Good to go, just like his grandpa.
You're just hoping we can catch up. That's
Yeah,
all.
exactly.
Keep up with him.
Hey, congratulations on the new gig, bro.
Thank you.
And congratulations on the new drummer.
Thank you.
The name should draw lots of people in and get you lots of hits and likes.
Yeah.
We got 2,000 likes last night. So thanks again to Mike and Sean from the Money Shot Band. Keep up with them by checking Money Shot on Facebook. Thanks again to our sponsors and my co-host Dennis and my partner Dennis. And thanks to Alex Honk, who's running around here in the background taking care of all this video. Anybody else to thank?
everybody that's out there supporting local music and art.